Yeah, I feel like I'm part of the 1% that actually likes this movie fine. I find this film to be visually appealing with songs that are enjoyable at best. Some lyrics are off, but to me, they're not distracting enough for me to dislike the songs.
See, that's where all the balls of gas come from.
Shut the fuck up!
Where was I? Oh, yeah.
I will say this though, for a movie called Wish, there are lots of things that I wished had happened. Like, I wish there was more screen time between Asha and Magnifico. I wish she was an apprentice for a while before being rejected. I wish we got more of a perspective from the people of Roses. I wish we saw people who were previously Magnifico's apprentice. I wish I'm a Star didn't exist.
You're a star.
I really liked the first 20 minutes, as I thought it was a decent start and set up for the rest of the story. One of my favourite bits in the entire film is Asha and Magnifico's conversation and song. They had such an interesting friendship that I wish there was more interactions between them either before or after the interview.
Asha, no one should ever have to see their dreams destroyed before their eyes.
No one should have to live their life feeling the pain of that loss every day.
And that's why I do what I do.
And that's why I want to work for you.
By the way, I do find it silly how he wouldn't think that Asha could have summoned the star after rejecting her the day before.
Who could have commanded it?
Fucking think about it, dude! The second act, though, does feel pretty empty. While I appreciate that they're getting straight to the goal, there's nothing surprising or interesting that really happens apart from Magnifico's dissension. Maybe if they cut that stupid chicken dance scene, then maybe you could have added something more important.
Okay, ladies, big finish!
What the fuck am I watching?
The only surprising thing that happens in this movie is Simon ratting on Asha.
Yes, there's a savage teenager running around with a star destroying wishes, but guess who bravely came forward and identified her?
Simon O'Donoghue!
With Asha's friends not getting much screen time, this came off as a little random.
Be the king's most valiant, courageous, and loyal knight!
Just not a loyal friend.
The final act wasn't perfect, but I still thought it was okay. I like how Magnifico has a moment of victory.
There will be no wishing on stars ever again! No chance to rise up. No one to challenge me ever again. You are nothing!
But I'm not really a fan of how he loses. I thought he should have had a more satisfying defeat than just being sucked into his staff, or at least died. Yeah, remember when Disney killed their villains? Although in this movie's case, it kind of makes sense that Magnifico doesn't die. Because again, he was kind of a good guy at first, but then just became mad with power. I wouldn't say Magnifico deserved to die, even with the things he did or tried to do. Maybe if he killed someone and didn't feel guilty about it, maybe someone like Sabino, Sakina, Dahlia, or even Amaya, then yeah, I'd say he deserved a death. But he doesn't, so we're left with this.
Get me out of here at once!
No.
What? After everything I've done for you, for Rosas? This is the thanks I get?
So overall, first act was good, second act felt rushed and empty, but the third act was just decent enough. I appreciate all the references they make to Disney's past films, even if some of them aren't really that subtle.
Thanks for not eating me, John.
Don't mention it, Bambi. It's all good.
Oh, Fantasyland in the sky. How about Neverland?
I hear you long to fly. Well, Peter here wants to build a flying machine.
Hi.
Really?
But most of them are pretty smart. Like Asha's dress is decorated with pumpkin seeds, a nod to Cinderella. In adult cost, there's exactly 1,923 wish bubbles present, and that number is in honor of Walt Disney himself, who founded the company in 1923. There's even a reference to Snow White as Magnifico gets sucked into his staff. I like that. An issue I'll admit is a serious one is its pacing. It's not terrible, but it's still questionable. The movie's only an hour and a half, and there's either scenes that are too short or just scenes that should have been added in. Like the second act low point, roughly 30 seconds after This Is the Thanks I Get, Magnifico confronts Asha, having been informed that she summoned Star. He crushes Sakina's wish and realizes the power they contain, so now he wants more power.
All this time, I've protected the wishes, not knowing the power they yield. I feel as if I can do anything.
He's taken out in a pretty dumb way, which I would have forgiven if he chased them, but he doesn't. They get on a boat and get away, and just like that, within 2 minutes, we're at our second act low point.
I was foolish to think I could change anything. I should never have wished. It's true. Everyone in Rosas is at risk because of me.
They could have at least featured a chase beforehand and a little more serious interaction with Asha and her family. Maybe Star gets hurt during the chase, maybe Valentino dies.
As much as I would want that, that is way too dark.
It's not terrible, it just irritates me how all of this happens within 2 minutes.
I love you both very much.
What is going on?
When you get to the island, stay hidden from view.
What are you doing?
I have to stop him.
It's too dangerous.
I started this. I have to finish it. For everyone.
Well, that was fast, wasn't it?
Something that's a hit and miss for me is the humor.
Not to mention the fact that you're also turning 18.
Happy birthday!
In a few months. Not today.
Although half of these jokes do get a small chuckle out of me, like I like the running joke of Bazima appearing and disappearing all the time.
You touch him, you wash him.
It was an accident.
Ah, how do you always do that?
But we trust you. Don't we, Vizzy? Where did she go?
How did you do that?
While the other half of the jokes are just groan-inducing, and most of them come from Valentino.
Oh, good find, Valentino.
My butt found it.
The humor is pretty much nowhere near as funny as the other Disney films. I mean, Frozen was funnier than this.
Oh, look at that. I've been impaled.
Wreck-It Ralph was funnier than this.
When these video games become so violent and scary, they give me ideas.
Zootopia was funnier than this.
Buddy, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too.
Moana was funnier than this.
If the current's warm, you're going the right way.
It's cold. Wait, it's getting warmer.
Tangled was a lot funnier than this.
You should see your faces because you look...
Something else I thought the movie really lacked compared to Disney's recent films was a central theme. Like, Wreck-It Ralph dealt with letting your friends go because you can't keep them forever, Raya dealt with themes of trust, and Kanto and Strange World both dealt with themes of generational trauma. Wish kind of has a theme going on, and it's based on selfishness. Like, Magnifico acts pretty selfish by protecting himself and his power over granting everyone's wishes. Simon acts selfish by running on Asha so he can have his wish. Even Asha acts a little selfish by saving her family's wishes first instead of trying to free everyone else's, because that's what she wished for at first. It's an interesting theme, but it's not fleshed out like the themes in Disney's other films. If they fleshed it out more, it would have made the second act low point more impactful, with Asha realizing that the one time she ever thought about herself ended up putting everyone else in danger. I want to believe that was the filmmaker's intention, but they don't directly address it as a plot point. Basically, this movie has all of these ideas and a lot of potential going on, but it just doesn't take enough advantage of them. In the end, Wish to me is just fine enough. I wouldn't call this generic, even though it's not spectacular either. It's not Disney's best, but it's far from their worst. It's not a home run, but it's far from being a fail. Look, it has problems for sure. The story feels weak, the pacing is too quick, some scenes feel either too short or missing important moments, the humor is hit and miss, there's not enough character development for Asha, Magnifico could have been taken a little more seriously, but the film's biggest problem was that it was too safe, especially for a film that's meant to celebrate 100 years of Disney. There's some great potential in here that they do play with, but just not enough to leave an impact. It's definitely trying, but sadly not enough. Despite all of that though, I still don't hate this movie. Asha's still a likable protagonist, Magnifico's a fun villain to watch, some of the other characters are okay, there's some really good visuals here and there, and most of the songs are enjoyable despite some odd lyrics. And it has a good message in not giving up on what you believe in, not letting your emotions get the best of you, and making your dreams come true on your own. When this came out, I first went into it with not much expectations. Between 2013 and 2021, there was a period where I was kind of annoyed by Disney movies and I thought it was too old for them, even though I thought Encanto was pretty good. Watching Wish reminded me of how special Disney was, how special they still are. I ended up rewatching most of the films from the 90s after this. Everything about this movie just feels like classic Disney. Even I'm a Star is the usual dumb happy song that exists for the kids. It was shit, but it still felt like Disney. Even though it should have been a better film, especially for Disney's centenary celebration, it doesn't hurt to think that Wish is a representation of Disney as a whole. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're great, sometimes they're awful, but sometimes they're okay. Whether I liked their work or not, they made my childhood, and this film does its job at reincorporating the feeling of a Disney animated film. Not a lot, but just enough. Yes, it could have been a lot better, but I don't think it's as bad as everyone makes it out to be. To me, it's fine enough, and I like it.
Wish is good, but it could have been better.
But in saying that, I will definitely set up expectations for Moana 2. I am very cautiously optimistic for that one. Because if it's shit,
We'll all fuck. Oh, shut up.
what's something that I can look at to cap off 2024?
Tensions rise as we enter the 213th week of lockdown.
COVID-23 has mutated.
Now that is a movie that hasn't aged well.